Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to our political conversation. And today we are going to have a end year recap of all the political events that took place this year, 2023. And we are also going to look forward to predict what is going to be next year, which is 2024. But before we dive in to give that political recap of this year, 2023, I could request you kindly to take a minute or two and subscribe to this YouTube channel. Give this video thumbs up, share the video to your friends, and if your friends are lovers of politics, then it's good for you to request them to subscribe to this YouTube channel. And for those ones who have subscribed to our YouTube channel, I say thank you, because you always inspire us to continue coming up with this kind of political analysis. And whenever you subscribe to our YouTube channel, always make sure to smash the bell button so that YouTube can notify you whenever we come up with any political content. Now, let us go back to the discussion of the day. This year has actually marked various political events, and we started having what we call the finance bill, and this finance bill caused a lot of agitation from the citizen of the Republic of Kenya, because it was actually touching on their lives, and it came in when Kenya was experiencing high cost of living, and that's why many people had to agitate about it. And many people had thought that the finance bill was going to be very friendly to common mwananchi, very friendly to business, but it was actually very opposite of that, because in the finance bill, it had proposed what we call taxes, very many taxes hike. For example, the petroleum tax was around 80%, but it was increased to 16%. And that meant that all the petroleum product had to go quite high, and that actually compounded to high cost of living. Also, there was something which we call the housing levy, which actually wanted to take 3% of a person's salary, the total salary of an individual, for those people who were actually employed in the government. So that is another thing which actually annoyed people. And we also had another political event. Because of that high cost of living, Raila Amolo Odinga actually had to lead what we call mass protest across the country. And many people came in for that, because the high cost of living actually had touched very many people, even if there were some places or regions of this Republic of Kenya which actually did not do what we call the mass protest. And majorly, the Central Province and Rift Valley and part of Eastern and the coast. They never took that very seriously. So at the end, the the mass action was called off by Raila Amolo Odinga after they had actually struck a deal with President William Samoei Ruto that they were going to have a committee, and that committee was to look at various issues which actually were raised by each part of the political divide. And actually, at the end, that committee came up with a report which we call the Nadico report. And the Nadico report also actually caused another political havoc because within the Azimio fraternity, it was noted that it had spread the so-called the principles within the Azimio coalition party. And that's why the likes of Martha Karua had come out and they had rejected the entire report. And people like Eugene Wamalwa, who was actually a member of the Nadico report committee, he never appended his signature to that report. Even if Raila Amolo Odinga came in and tried to tell the public that Eugene Wamalwa was going to append his signature to the Nadico report, that when it was being given away, Eugene Wamalwa was not around, but Eugene Wamalwa denied that and said that he could not append his signature to the Nadico report because he believes that that report never dealt anything important about the citizen of this nation. And also Martha Karua rejected the entire report because it never dealt with the important issues that were to make sense, because it never dealt with the high cost of living. It also never dealt with the 2022 presidential audit, election audit, and it never dealt with how IEBC was going to be harmonized or constituted afresh so that we may never have the recurrence of what happened. Another thing which happened this year, the governor of Meru, that is Kawira Mwangaza, was also impeached by the county MCS twice. And good enough, when that impeachment went to the Senate, it was thrown out because the Senate had to say that it lacked anything important that was to make the Kawira Mwangaza, the governor of Embu, to be done of Meru, to be done what? To be impeached. So Kawira Mwangaza is just a very lucky woman. But up to date, there are rankles in Meru between the governor and the MCA, because the MCAs from that party still they say they are going to impeach the governor again, and the governor has said that he's going to correct signatures and he's going to dissolve the entire government of Meru County. And another thing which happened this year is about the electricity blackout, which actually have made many people to lose a lot of finances, because the blackout has been coming now and again. I think it's around 3 times. So that is actually what has been happening the entire 2023 in the political arena. And lastly, you will find that President William Samoei Ruto, yesterday, he went to her home, to his home, I mean, so that he can have a Christmas with the people from his home. And it was noted that very many came to Sogoi so that they can correct or they can take some few things from there, which were actually going to be dished out. Things like cooking oil, things like flour, etc. And this happened because of the high cost of living and because of the scarcity of what we call the finances. Yeah? So that's actually what happened. And in the NADECO report, also there is one person who was totally against the NADECO report. That is Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta was against that completely. Yeah? And because of that, it brought an havoc between him and Raila Amolo Odinga until Raila Amolo Odinga had to fist Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta. And we don't know what they squared out about that, how they agreed about the NADECO report, because nothing has come out. And it seems Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta is on the position of endorsing His Excellency Kalonzo Musyoka so that he can go for presidency, let come 2027. So those were the major events that happened this year, 2023. And we hope that 2024, we are going to have a better nation, even if we foresee that the NADECO report may be carried forward to that time, because there are people who may wish Kenya to have a referendum so that that NADECO report can be what? Materialized. So we expect a kind of a fiery political contest let come next year. I really don't know what you are saying about the what? The events, the political events that happened this year. And tomorrow, I am going to give more detail about those events. So join me tomorrow so that you can get more recap about what happened politically in this nation in 2023. And with that, I say thank you for listening. And I could request you kindly, if this was your first time to bump into this YouTube channel, please subscribe, like this video, hit the notification bell so that at any moment we come up with any political content, YouTube can be in the position to notify you so that you can watch the content. And with that, I say thank you until we meet in our next political conversation.